CJ Stroud has announced that he will be entering the NFL draft. We're going to talk about how that impacts the Bears and their draft picks. And then we're also going to rank Ryan Poles' draft picks from this past draft. We're going to get into all that and more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
All right, Bobby. We in the building. What's going on, brother?
What up, man?
So CJ Stroud did what most people expected him to do. He declared for the NFL draft he will not be returning to Ohio State. Now, I did a video, I think on Saturday, just saying that if he did decide to return to Ohio State, how that would have upped the value of the Bears' number one overall pick. With CJ Stroud now officially declaring and entering this draft, what do you think? How much do you think that impacts the haul that the Bears could get back for a number one pick?
I would say slightly. It impacts it just a little bit, simply because if he would have returned back to Ohio State, now you got Will Levis and Bryce Young, and then you know what I'm saying. But now that he's declared that he's going into the draft, now you add more prospects, to that, to those quarterbacks that's available and whatnot. But I still think that the Chicago Bears at the end of the day should be able to get a nice deal for that number one pick.
For sure. They're going to get a nice deal for that. Who do you think's the better prospect? Do you have Bryce Young or CJ Stroud rated as the better prospect?
It's hard to tell.
Uh-huh.
I'm a Michigan fan. It's hard to say it, but I'm gonna give it to CJ Stroud, and I'm gonna only go because what he did to Georgia defense. But I don't think it's like a huge margin, that he's better. But I believe he showcased what he could potentially do if he get the right system behind him with some players on beside him, and he was able to carve up Georgia defense. And if the damn kicker didn't miss the field goal, he would have been playing for a championship.
Yeah. I mean, that is one of the reasons I thought he may end up returning back to college football, but he's entering the NFL draft, so that's where everything sits. We can go back to our trade speculation. We got till March for the draft, bro. It's crazy that we're almost at the end of January, but I can't wait till we just get to the damn draft, man, just so we can know what's going on, man.
Me too.
It's gonna be 3 long months of nothing but speculation on what they're gonna do with that number one pick, bro.
Absolutely. Right now, they ain't talking much about it because what happened over the weekend with the playoffs. But pretty soon they're gonna resume all the speculation and the crazy headlines real soon.
Exactly. Speaking of Chargers fans, y'all okay? But with that being said, I figured since we're talking about the draft, it'll be a good time to just go over our draft picks from this following season and just see and rank their season. We'll give it a letter grade A through F. Kyler Gordon, he was the number 39 overall pick for the Chicago Bears last draft. What do you give Kyler Gordon as far as his grade?
Oh, he started off with an F, fat F, but he rose up. He bounced back. My grade for Kyler Gordon overall, especially how he closed out the season, I'm gonna just say it's a solid B. He bounced back, made some plays, and we didn't see much of Vildor out there because he was able to solidify his spot. So thank you for that.
Yeah, I give him a C plus. If the season started off a little bit better, I could give him a B. But I'm going to give him a C plus. I think the way that he rebounded, the way that he really stopped getting exposed. Like, how many times did we talk about Kyler Gordon getting exposed in the latter half of the season? Not much, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it just showed that he had learned. He has learned a lot and grown a lot. I can't wait to see what a full off season does for him as well. But yeah, C plus for me on Kyler Gordon.
That's fair.
Next one up, 49th overall pick, Jaquan Brisker.
My guy get an A, bro. He led the team in sacks as a safety. Hey, man, he was a hard hitter. He hit the ground running, and you seen the potential from the very first preseason game that he was out there. And then he's been pretty, he was consistent throughout the entire season. So that's why I stand with it.
Yeah. He gets an A. Like, there's nothing more that he could have done to higher his grade. I mean, he could have solidified it to A plus, I guess, but he was getting an A either way.
Right.
Jaquan Brisker was everything that he was advertised to be and more. He lived up to all the things that he talked about and expectations he set for himself when he was interviewed in the offseason and after the draft. And he's going to be a big part of the Chicago Bears defense for a long, long time. He got Pro Bowls ahead of him, bro.
Absolutely.
Multiple Pro Bowls are coming in his future. Next one up, Velus Jones, brother.
My
F.
boy get
I
a
like. I get, bro. It's an F. Listen, I get it, and I know he did have he had that a couple of big receptions in separate games towards the end of the season. But to me, as a rookie, you cost your teams games because of your mistakes. You getting the F, bro.
That's fair
It's
enough,
getting
bro. I was gonna give him a D plus. You know what I'm saying? Just because he tried to, make amends toward the end of the season, but he had failed. He didn't understand what the objective was, and that was securing the pick. But he still showed some effort out there and still tried to close out. So it's only up from here, Dropsy. It's only up
Yeah,
from
that's
here.
it. You can only I guess you can go lower because you can get your ass cut. But
Yeah,
but other than that, it's all ups from this point on. All right, next up, we got Braxton Jones, 168th pick overall.
I'm gonna go with A with him too. I believe that's an A
Okay.
pick because my man's bro, they brought other guys in, during the off season or whatever. I believe it was
Vets at that.
mini camp. Yeah, mini camp. And he held down his spot for the entirety of the season and the things that went on in the off season as well. So I gotta give him an A simply because for majority of the season, you can't argue that he was not one of the best linemen that they had as a rookie, even battling up against, some of those pass rushers on opposing teams that we faced this year.
And it was some bad things in there for Braxton, but overall, like just as a rookie, what he was able to perform at, how he did outshine veterans, I can't give him an A, but I'm going to give him a B. He gets a solid B for me because there were some games where we got lit up from his side of the ball, but like I said, much like with Kyler Gordon, he improved drastically over the season and week in and week out, and he definitely earned his starting spot, I think, as well too. I think he locked himself into that starting spot. So
facts. Yeah, a lot of it the A came for me is simply the way he bounced back, bro. Everywhere you look on just about every team, they got a pass rusher that you got to fill. And you already know they feast on rookies. So shout out to him.
That's an absolute fact. This next one up is a little bit was one of the more difficult ones, and that's Dominique Robinson. And the reason why it was difficult to me is because when he was playing a reserve role, he was amazing. We talked about it. Right. He was getting as many tackles and pressures as the starters when he was a reserve. Bruh. When he moved into that starting lineup, it kind of evened out. He just did not make that same impact. So it's kind of hard to judge because when you're the 174th overall pick, it's like, all right, well, did you play to the expectations of what I would have usually expected? To me, it's just he played so good to start off with that my expectations rose, but I'm gonna give him a C-. I think it was average. That's what I think. It's just average for where he was drafted, the position he was placed in, the fact that the offensive line wasn't good overall. I'm gonna give him a C.
I'm with you on that C- too. Good start, bad finish, but I also think that that also has to be questions like, hey, what if he had a better interior pass rush alongside of him? Could he have shined more? You know what I'm saying? Because once you had like some guys taking some pressure off of him, you know what I'm saying, with a Robert Quinn and other players, I mean, it's not too much that they really had, but when you coming in, you fresher, than the person that's ahead of you, you get more opportunities. So it's, C- though. C-.
That's fair. Next one up, unexpected one on this list. Trenton Gill, our punter.
Hey, the punter get a B plus.
Bro, as much as C-Dub hates kickers, you can't like be solid B. I'll give him an A, bro, because he came in as a punter and did it. Like it wasn't his fault that we couldn't move the ball, and sometimes he kicked it from bad positions. But when I look at it, like when he had a chance to pin teams against the red zone, I feel like he did it more times than not. I think he was a damn good pick in my opinion.
Agree. He ain't messed up that many times. Yeah, I don't need. Hey, not as much as Santos. So gotta give him the A. We good. We give him an A. Yeah, I was just saying that. Hey, my guy. He at least was better than Cairo Santos. So he get the win for that.
That's a fact. Get the win for that. Some of the other draft picks for us, like Zachary Thomas, we drafted him 186. He didn't even make the final roster. He wasn't on the team. Treston Ebner, we didn't see a lot of. I don't really feel well. I guess just for the nature of the conversation, what do you think? If you can't give a grade because he didn't play much, what are your thoughts now on Treston Ebner? Because I know we were both kind of excited for him coming into the season. He didn't quite make that type of impact even when Khalil Herbert went down. But what do you give him?
I mean, it's tough to evaluate him, to be honest with you, because we've seen him only in a few spots here and there. I mean, we had I believe it was early in the season. He may have like a few plays and he was like, okay. And then Herbert goes down and he falls out of the rotation. I believe at that time they only gave him about a handful of snaps, and he didn't really do particularly well. And then the following game they had Evans in, so
Yeah.
it was hard to kind of evaluate him. So I just want to see more, see if he can go in, get mentorship behind somebody that's on the team, and then eventually be able to contribute to the Bears.
Do you think so? Between Treston Ebner, Ja'Tyre Carter, and Elijah Hicks, those are all the picks, lower end picks that ended up making the team and playing this season. Do you see them all being on the roster next season?
I think Elijah Hicks will be there because he was able to step up in Eddie Jackson's absence and then slide over when Jaquan was out too. So I think that they're gonna be like, okay, we like some things here and there. He might got to polish up on some things too. And then he could still, plus he know the system, so, and he cheap. So I think that he'll still be there.
Okay. All right. And what about just Tariq Carter and Ebner? You think they both make the roster next season?
I think it's gonna be a challenge for them, but I don't know. I don't know if Carter was more of a project for them, and if the guy go, he gonna be around. Now it's just gonna be up to him if he go in, polish up on some stuff, work on his game, work on his craft to at least solidify a backup role. So that's all gonna be on him. It's hard to determine.
Carter played 31 snaps last season and did not allow a single pressure or sack in those snaps. So that's at least something to build off of. Yeah. I mean, for a rookie, didn't play much. Now, the one that was undrafted, I think I know what the grade's going to be here. We can't go without talking about our guy, Jack Sanborn. Come on.
My boy get a solid A, man. I believe. Yeah. I mean, if you want to keep it a buck, A+, because he had an interception call back. He led during his time in tackles. He was an impact player. And then to fill a role for a linebacker who just got $20 million on the team he was just traded to. And this guy undrafted,
same production
on the real, the same production, same impact, not really having that much of a drop off. I'm gonna go A+.
Yeah, it's only A+ that I can give, because to be undrafted and for us not to, like, I remember them signing, and we talked about, they signed a number of undrafted rookies, and I remember saying his name, but literally from the first preseason game until he went down with injury, we were talking about this guy. Like, he played that well as an undrafted rookie in preseason that we noticed him, right? That says a lot, that he stood out and then we noticed him. And then for us to keep him in our mind and wonder when he was going to play more, when he was going to play more. And then when he gets that opportunity after Smith gets traded, and for him to step in and give that same production, you can only give that an A+, bro. You can only that's literally, that's one of those stories that if Jack Sanborn ends up having a great career, matter of fact, it doesn't even have to be great. If he has a solid to good NFL career, they need to make a movie about that man's life, bro. Because
that'll be lit. That'll be lit, especially being not too far from Chicago. So
exactly,
there you go.
Exactly. Anything left, bro? Any thoughts on your mind or anything, brother?
Man, I ain't got nothing, but hey. Y'all see what happened to Herbert, though. Woo, my goodness. Y'all see what happened to him. Look, we just, like C-Dub say, Bears fans, it don't always hit that first playoff appearance. Hey, coaching matters, y'all. Coaching matters. And game plan matters as well.
People overlook just how much coaching matters in professional sports, man. But yeah, definitely matters, man.
Facts. And that's it for me. So be patient with Jay Fields, man. Be patient.
But you guys can follow us collectively at Shy Bear Central. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, ChicagoBearCentral@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text and or voicemail for our mailback episodes on Friday, 773-242-9336. We are the #1 spot for everything Chicago Bears related. Bear down, y'all. Peace.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.